Or just perch. There you go.
I'm going to make sure I'm in no way in the way.
All right.
Whatever, wherever you're most comfortable.
Yeah, this is fine.
It won't be for an
It's okay.
hour, so
It's fine.
yeah, it'll be like 10 minutes.
Cool.
Okay, great. Can I start by just getting you to kind of explain what it's all about?
So this musical is called Juliet, and it's a celebration of theatrical heritage and pop culture all mixed into one. So we pick up with Juliet at the end of her story, at the end of Romeo and Juliet as we know it, except we give it a very bold twist. Instead of her waking up and going, I'm going to kill myself, she makes a powerful decision to go and choose a new life for herself. And what ensues is 2.5 hours of joy and bliss, but also some challenges that she has to face along the way, which I think are in conversation with the sort of challenges that young people face in the world in 2019.
And did you feel like it was quite a natural mashup to have like Max Martin songs and like a Shakespeare play?
Sure. So on the one hand, this sounds like a totally bonkers idea, but then you come and spend time with us in this building, and I think everything just feels like these songs were made to tell this story, and it kind of gels in this kind of unique, harmonious way, which I think is very specific to this show. And suddenly you're hearing a song that you grew up with in a totally different way, and listening to the lyric and understanding why it means an enormous amount to that character. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, when I first heard about it, I was like, wow, this is out there. But for all of us who are spending every day working out at the moment, it feels very natural and like it has its own sort of fingerprint as a Western musical in its own right.
Because it's one of those things, isn't it, that sometimes pop songs, you heard them so many times, you don't even really think what the lyrics mean anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You've like just become used to it. Some of them are nonsense and you still like sing every word.
Yeah. So I grew up with all of these songs. This show is basically the soundtrack to my life. You know, I remember dancing to these songs by myself in a corner when I was 15 at the school disco, and now I get to hear them sung by the most talented actors on that stage. And there's one song in particular, "Shape of My Heart," which is a Backstreet Boys song, and you just kind of sing it, you know, when you're driving along down the road. But that moment in the show completely speaks to me because of the way that the playwright has found a connection to that song about what it means to understand who you're in love with and for other people around you to accept who you're in love with. And I think often we dismiss pop songs as disposable or kind of sugar candy, but actually they're little kind of mini works in their own right. And I think that's something that I've really learnt from working alongside Max and his team who wrote these songs, is that there's a huge amount of craft that's interwoven into these songs, and it's a complete joy to unpack that, really.
So Max is fully on board.
Yeah, so Max Martin has been with us every step of the way, and he is the driving force behind this show because he is so passionate about what he does, and he also loves theatre, and he wants these songs to have a kind of a space where they can be heard live every night and where they can speak to a whole new audience who are coming in and experiencing them with performers on stage. And yeah, he's just, I think, I am so proud of this show, and I'm so proud of it because it's work that I think is going to places that I've never been able to go in my career before. And the reason I feel like I've been able to do that is because we've had Max's support and Max's encouragement and ultimately his faith in the project. It's been a very special experience.
And did he also have to kind of check it with the artists who made the songs really famous, like Britney and Justin and Katy Perry and Backstreet Boys? Did he have to ask them at all?
So Max is very honest about being a collaborator, and if you look in our programme, it says the music is by Max Martin and friends. And everybody that I talk to who's worked with Max has nothing but praise to say about him. And he's a real treasured figure in the music industry. So I know that a lot of his artists have got in touch and said, we're really excited that you're doing the show. I actually think we have a few of his artists coming to see the show. We had some of them pop in and out of rehearsals, and they're super chuffed to see where the show goes and the journey that it's taking.
When you say pop, I immediately think NSYNC.
I think, yes, NSYNC have certainly been in the loop with what we're up to.
Excellent. And your leading lady is quite a find.
Yeah. So
it's quite a role, isn't it? She's carrying the whole thing.
Yeah, Miriam Teakley is just extraordinary. I don't particularly get starstruck in life, but whenever Miriam's in the room, I just kind of go all kind of gooey inside. And it's been incredible working with her. You know, Juliet has been moulded with her essentially, and having her attitude and her kind of response in the room to the material we've been presenting has been so instrumental in carving out that character. I remember the first time I ever heard her sing "Hit Me Baby One More Time," which I know sounds absolutely bonkers, but it was like the air in the room changed. And actually I have a little video of our first workshop, which is sort of shot from behind. And I watched all of these 100 people who've come to see that workshop. As she sings that song, their shoulders just roll back and their heart goes out to them. And the integrity that she brings to the performance, as well as the fun and the joy, I think is one of the things that makes this show really special. And increasingly, that's why I think people come to theatre, to see something that they can't see on a screen. And when you hear Miriam sing those songs and tell that story in this space, it's worth giving us 2.5 hours of your evening. It's worth leaving the house for, and it's worth investing in theatre, because that's why this art form is so special.
Amazing. 2 quick silly questions
Sure.
at the end. How often do you come and see it? Are you here every night?
So I think we've done maybe sort of 35, 36 shows so far, and every show we've been doing little upgrades, making it better, making it better, making it better. Sometimes we make it a little bit worse and then we go, oh no, actually let's go back and change that to what it was, or sort of take it in a different direction. So at the moment I've been here almost every show. I try and give them a little bit of space every now and then, because they find things that I didn't even know we needed to explore sometimes when I'm not around. But as we gear up to press night, which is this Wednesday, and we're all very excited. After that, I get to just kind of let it fly and do its thing for a little while. But this show's not going to be very far away from my heart. It's been a 3-year development process, almost every day working on this show. So yeah, it'll be exciting to let it go and have a bit of its own space to itself.
So what do you do when you come and see it? Do you let them know that you'll be in, or do you sneak in and get a sneaky ticket? Do you talk to people afterwards? How does it...
Yeah. So this show's been made essentially as one big team, and the cast are a huge integral part of that, and we try not to see kind of any lines between any of those departments, and there's just a very honest relationship. So as tempting as it is to kind of sneak in and take secret notes when they're not around, the understanding that we have in this building is that everybody's just creating their best work and we're all there for each other. So no, I'll be in and out. I'll be letting them know. Also, they're just such great fun to hang out with. So it would be ridiculous to not tell them I'm here, because quite honestly, it's a very joyous place to be.
And final question, your favourite kind of pop songs and pop artist, have you got one that you can narrow it down to?
It's interesting. So I was asked this question, what is my favourite pop song, when I was sort of interviewed for the job, and I completely panicked and sort of blocked out all of the years that I've been listening to pop as I grew up. And my honest response was Despacito, just because I love that song. And I remember at the time just kind of going, oh God, I can't believe I said Despacito, which isn't one of Max's songs. But actually, I think that song is so full of joy, and you hear it kind of all around the world. And I think, like many of Max's work as well, Despacito just kind of, I don't know, for some reason it lights up my heart and many people around the world.
Perfect, thank you very much, that was great.
I'm recording.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, can I get you to try and explain to me what Juliet is all about?
Well, it's a reimagining. What would happen if, at the end of Romeo and Juliet, Juliet decided not to take her own life and decided to make different choices? Because, yes, it was a passionate romance with Romeo, but there may be other things out there for her if she didn't decide to put a full stop on her story right at that point. So Anne, William's wife, decides to come in and ask the question. And what ensues is a beautiful romp through the Paris countryside as Juliet decides to go on an adventure with her nurse and her best friends, and all sorts of capers and adventures happen from there, yeah.
And this is not your first time being involved with a Romeo and Juliet story, is
No,
it?
no. I have actually done a Romeo and Juliet, well, the Romeo and Juliet, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the Liverpool Everyman rep. So that was a few years ago now.
And you were still playing the nurse?
Still playing the nurse.
Excellent. What did you like about the nurse? Because she's a great character.
She is a great character. What I like about her is her wit, first of all, but also her loyalty. She's incredibly loyal, and it's always great to play someone who can be a rock and, who can stand up for and next to, the main protagonist, and that's always really sweet to play.
And what's it been like working with Miriam Teak?
Miriam Teak, oh, I just smushed my microphone because with passion. She is an extraordinary young woman. Not only is she brilliantly talented, but she's very, very smart, and she brings a take to this role and to other roles that I've seen as well that is really unexpected, because she's a clever cookie, and it really is. I mean, she's also 10 foot tall, so, and I'm, 4 foot nothing, so it's a pain in the neck. No, it's not, but it is great fun. She's a great friend, and she keeps me young, let's say.
And the songs are obviously super classic
Yeah.
pop songs. Which ones do you get to sing and which are your favourite?
I get to sing a little bit of Teenage Dream and Break Free by Katy Perry and Ariana Grande. Get to sing a little bit of Pink later on in the program. I can't say the name of it because it's a post-watershed song, but and a little bit of Britney Spears as well alongside Miriam, so we get to sing a little bit of Oops, I Did It Again. So yeah, it's good fun, and I'm part of Domino and Show Me Love, and the nurse gets quite a story in this one, so yeah, she's very present.
And these songs that you've sung along on the radio too? Because obviously it's taking a pop song and it's giving it a completely different lease of life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's a testament, one, to Max and the way that he wrote songs, because he wrote very, very timeless lyrics to these songs, so they can mean something to anybody at any time. Also, credit to the writer David West Reed for very cleverly weaving in these songs, and at no moment do these songs feel forced or shoved in or shoehorned in any way. As for whether I sang them, I knew, let's say, the older ones, and then pop music passed me by, and so the young people had to teach me some of the newer songs, but it was great fun actually refamiliarizing myself and getting familiar with some of the new ones.
So many.
So many.
I mean, you just forget.
I know, right?
So many.
The third most prolific songwriter of all time, and people barely know what he looks like. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's very clever. Right, some silly questions at the end
All right.
for you. Do you have a kind of backstage routine on show day?
Backstage routine? No, I mean, I just try to get ready in time, and that's basically it. The rest of the time I can be found in other people's dressing rooms, going visiting, walking up and down the theatre. Being a general nuisance is my backstage routine.
So you're very sociable. You like to talk
I
to
like
everyone.
to see people.
Some people like to lock themselves in a room,
I
don't
know,
they? Yeah.
I know, but I think theatre, it can't be made in a vacuum, and but the experience that you have of theatre can't be, for me, can't be about being by yourself. Theatre is a very sociable thing, and you make what you make on stage. You're really dependent on other people, and my whole experience of just coming to the theatre is really dependent on other people. We have such a terrific cast here as well. I mean, all these, as I say, Miriam keeps me young. All these young people keep me young, and they have me running. But so why would I pass up on that?
And finally, have you got a favourite pop song or pop artist?
I think all my favourites are featured in Juliet, and so that's, I mean, because the kind of music that I like to listen to is kind of like, it goes way, way, way back. But in terms of pop music, yeah, absolutely. That Backstreet Boys stuff is really right up my street. And so when you see me and everybody, the Backstreet Boys song Everybody in the show, and you see me with a massive grin on my face, you know that that's completely genuine and coming in from every kind of teenage girl dream that I've had.
Amazing, thank you. That's perfect.
Thank you so
much. Excellent. Okay. Can I get you to describe what it's about? Because it's really interesting, because you've obviously got a kind of Shakespeare bones in there, and
Yes.
then loads of pop songs.
Yes, so it's basically like rewriting the ending of Romeo and Juliet, and it asks what would happen if Juliet decided she wasn't going to kill herself and go with Romeo, but she was going to live her life. And it's kind of told through like a play within a play. And you have Anne Hathaway, who's Shakespeare's wife. She's played by Cassidy Jansen, and she kind of takes the quill and takes ownership over this new story for Juliet, which is so incredible. And they travel to Paris and meet new people, and it's kind of like a story about self-discovery, self-love, being true to who you are. But at the same time, the music in this show is by a songwriter called Max Martin, who is just incredible. I mean, he's written songs for Katy Perry, Britney Spears, Ariana Grande, Justin Timberlake. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on. So it's got incredible music in this show, but it's done so, so brilliantly. It's kind of changes the way, like we know these songs, but you've never heard them done this way. So the orchestrations by Dominic Falaccara and Bill Sherman are so cleverly interwoven into this story. And one of my favorite moments is Hit Me Baby One More Time, because it's so different. Like we know how it's done, by Britney Spears, but it's done really slow in this show, and it's dramatic. You've got like this strong drum beat, which is sort of synonymous with her heartbeat, and you've got violins in there, and you don't always get violins in like pop music, So it's like, it's really turning these songs on their head and breathing new life into them.
So, which for you is a highlight? Which song do you look forward to the most, if you can even say
I
that?
know, because they're all incredible. But I really, I would have to say Raw. It's like one of the last songs that Juliet sings, and I love the lyrics of the song. I love how it's done in this show. It's like a real concert moment, because through in this show we have like moments where it's definitely like a musical, and it's done like, no, you're not looking at the fourth wall, you're not breaking the fourth wall, and then you have moments where it turns into a complete concert and you like acknowledge the audience and everything, and that's one of those moments, and it's just really incredible.
And is the audience singing along with you?
Absolutely. They love it. They're singing along with every song. It's amazing. Like, in theatre, you don't always get audiences that are very vocal and stuff. Not to say that they're not enjoying it, but they kind of just will clap at the end and that's it. But like during the song, they'll like whoop, they'll sing along, they'll cheer. So yeah, it's really amazing.
And I saw some pictures of the stage door. So it looks like it's going down well. So crowds of people are waiting to talk to you.
Yes, I know, which is just crazy. I mean, long may it continue. But what's so amazing is that you're getting people that come to the show, they absolutely love it, and they keep saying, I want to come back, I just want to come back again. And it's such an inspiring musical, and it just makes people feel so like happy and excited and like inspired when they leave the theatre. And that's that's what you want to feel when you watch something.
And you didn't really know who Max Martin was before any of this now,
No.
and now like you're one of his biggest fans.
Exactly, literally his biggest fan. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, all I had to do was just type his name in on Google, and then very quickly you find out like the caliber of him. So, yeah, he's literally a legend.
And the other artists, I know some others have like popped in and are planning to come along and see it. Do people talk to you afterwards?
Yeah, well, Harry Styles actually came in to one of our rehearsals, actually, and, he was very complimentary. He said he really loved it. It was just so weird, like being like, okay. It was crazy. And I think Sam Smith was in the other day, but I didn't get to speak to him, actually, but I'm hoping that loads more celebrities and singers come. That would be amazing.
Because it is hearing their songs in a completely different way,
Exactly.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
so they must be intrigued.
Exactly.
I'm sure once it opens, they'll all be trying to score
Yeah.
tickets. A few more quick questions. Do you have like a backstage routine before you go on?
So we have warm-up at 6, so we'll have a vocal warm-up and a physical warm-up, so that will last about half an hour. At 6:30, I'll head up to my room and I'll start like my makeup. I'll put my rollers in to make sure my hair is all cute and curly for the show. And then at the 5, which is actually like 10 minutes before the show starts, at the 5, my dresser, Bella, will come in and she gets me into my first costume, which is Hit Me Baby One More Time. And then Jackie, who's wigs, will come in and I'll like take out all the rollers and she'll do my hair, and then Ewan from Mike's will come in and fit my mic and everything, and then after that's all done, I'll do like a quick little warm up, another one, and just like get into the zone, drink loads of water, and then I'll head down.
Amazing. When you come off stage, do you have like a similar process of going through things when you come off as well?
Well, I try and like wind down, which is really hard because the adrenaline's like pumping through you.
Yeah. It must be like a pop concert though, so that's a proper high. You don't often get that with theatre.
Exactly. So it's like training yourself to be like, okay, now I'm off the stage, just calm down, warm down, and But literally, I find myself not going to bed till like 1:30 because I'm still just like, wah!
I mean, this is why people go out partying till late, isn't it? Because
thing.
you're like, you're working.
But I
like,
can't party because if I party, I will lose my voice, and there's just no way. It's a big scene, so.
Yeah, no, that would be ruinous.
Exactly,
wouldn't it? Yeah.
exactly.
And finally, have you got? Do you have like a favorite pop star at all? Is there someone that you always like? Yes, they're great.
I've always loved Jessie J, actually, and she, she's a fellow Brit, which I love, and I just love her style of singing, and I just think her voice is incredible. So
she can hit all the notes.
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
she?
Literally,
Yeah.
just arranged for days. Yeah, amazing.
So that's like also a professional admiration there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. That was great. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to talk.